It is the Riot podcast.
Podcast. Your Wednesday edition, but no pressure whenever you're listening to this on whatever day. You stick to your schedule.
Do what you want. There's cookies in the break room.
Sometimes it's funny. We'll hear from you. You're like, yeah. And you're like 10 to 20 days back. And then others are like on time with it. So it really just, doesn't matter. Whatever you listen.
Nikki, in this time of on-demand programming.
Anytime you want to.
Anytime, anyway. We're all on different pages, but we're all coming together for this.
But it is hard because sometimes you'll ask us a question about something and it'll be from like 20 days ago. And we're like, we don't remember that much. So we have to look back. Oh, now are we okay?
So, in the podcast.
Aww.
I'm feeling great. In the podcast today, we talk about your excuses. We talk about dating your stepbrother or stepsister. That's a weird one, right? Deodorant, construction workers getting out of hand, AMC, and compulsive buying disorders.
So you can go through the CBD list to see if maybe it rings a bell or if there's warning signs that maybe you have that.
All right. Well, anything else?
Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening, and we do hope your week's going well. I know we have to go through this week together, but
we're in it together.
Hopefully you're
guys.
having a good week.
It is the Riot.
Worst of the Riot, not enough? Not enough. Check the blog and all things Riot at riot.radiou.com.
So Nikki and I were having a very important discussion off air, and that question is, does deodorant expire?
I think it does.
Now, when we put deodorant on our body, I can assure you it expires. So if you're thinking to yourself, like, I don't need deodorant, I put it on Monday.
But everything expires, like all makeup and cosmetics. And
does it?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. And if you, like for makeup, if you put it on and it's past its expiration, you can get an infection or it can cause rashes and problems with your skin. So I would think deodorant would be the same way.
Okay, so according to what I'm reading here on Outside, they say that technically deodorant does not expire.
Technically?
They say that its scent may go away over time. So if you're like, it doesn't smell as sporty as it used to.
It's not tropical breeze anymore.
I don't understand this. I got this morning mist deodorant and it just doesn't smell right.
But like as in like its properties and stuff, it should still be fine.
They say as an antiperspirant, it will probably continue to work.
Probably.
Well, I mean,
you're in a lot of iffy words there.
You can't make a blanket statement because you've got all these different deodorants.
I just didn't think it'd be like the Twinkie. The Twinkie and deodorant are what's going to end up lasting through the apocalypse.
So we'll be fed and we won't stink.
Like that's our priorities.
We'll grow a fifth arm, but like it's no big deal.
But we'll at least have deodorant to put under the fifth arm.
That's right. With all those pits, at least we'll have the deodorants to take care of it.
You'll need more.
It's a good call, Nikki. And this came out of the discussion of upstairs in my drawer, I have deodorant from a very long time ago. A band came through and brought me a bunch of deodorant. Not because I stink, but because they do.
It was a topic of conversation, and I forgot deodorant this morning. I didn't forget to bring it in.
Just to be clear,
I'm
Nikki,
fine saying
I wasn't even going to say it.
I wasn't going to say it. It doesn't embarrass me. I forgot to put it on. And I'm like, what is wrong? I feel like I've made a terrible mistake, but I should be fine.
Nobody's going to notice.
I'll be fine today. It's not summer.
Because a couple things. First off, Nikki and I maintain a very healthy,
body
distance.
temperature. Oh, no, distance.
Like, I'm not over there, like, hugging her like, well, the song's going to end. We have to talk now. I mean, so, like, we're probably a good, 6 or 7 feet away from each other.
Yes,
I'm not going to notice.
fine.
On top of which, I could have, my sense of smell is so bad, you could work out and I could stick my nose in your armpit and I'd be like, smells great.
Yeah, but that's what worries me. You need a partner who can help you when it's like, whoa, something's wrong.
Michael would probably know.
But I don't think, because I'm not planning, I'm not going to work out today. Like, I just need to get home. Once I get home, then it's fine.
What are you doing?
And I just need to remember to put deodorant on when I get home.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I have some girls' deodorant upstairs, but Nikki feels like it's expired.
Well, it's been a while. And
it's been a long time.
I just think that would be very weird.
A long time.
I'll just wait till I get home, and I'll set myself a reminder, and it'll all be fine.
It's going to be fine.
Just don't ask me to raise my hand or do anything like that.
This conversation reminds me, I should probably refresh my toiletries that I keep upstairs, because I've got an emergency set.
Yeah.
I've got a toothbrush, toothpaste, and deodorant upstairs, just in case, something happens.
I think even toothpaste goes bad.
I probably.
Not the toothbrush,
Wait.
though. The toothbrush is fine. Is that you?
I was listening to Play-Doh this morning when I was working out.
And it's your phone still
My
doing
phone
it.
just started.
He goes, nah. It doesn't go bad. The nah.
See? He's telling
wanted
you.
to step in and say it's fine.
Play-Doh has something to say to you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Nah.
Thank you, Crumb. Stop calling him Play-Doh.
Hey, that album, the moniker is Play-Doh.
I know.
You're listening to The Riot. Voted #1 morning show. Among toddlers aged 2 to 5, among people with hearing problems, among dogs who bark at loud noises, among relatives of Obadiah, among people who lie in surveys. The Riot, Radio U.
Nikki, last year we broke records.
We did?
And by we, I don't mean you and me.
Oh. I thought, what did we do?
No, we haven't done anything worthwhile.
Except tell you about the thing that's breaking the records. I mean, we're a part of the equation.
Right. So here we go. We have, as an American people, we had a record-breaking 2018. We spent $43.4 billion on video games.
Oh, yeah.
So we
now,
spent-
does that count as video games and then like accessories and then
All of
in-app
it.
purchases and
Yes.
everything in-game?
Now, I mean, there's some of the stuff that they can't track. This is from the Entertainment Software Association and the NPD Group. Now, the question becomes, the NPD Group can only track retail point of purchase sales, so like stuff in stores. I don't believe they do electronic stuff, and I don't know if the ESA is giving them data on like electronic sales or not. So I don't know if this is like, that's what we spent in stores, but we don't know how much we spent online.
If not, that could be way lower then.
But I think the ESA is combining some of that data. I don't know that for sure. But I do know this. The Nintendo Switch was the top-selling console of last year. Mm-hmm. And not just last year, but also the top-selling console of December. The Switch had the best sales of any console for December since 2010.
Really?
And so they say the Switch sold so well that it was more reminiscent of Wii Mania of 2010 when everyone was buying a Wii. And that was, I didn't know this, but apparently December of 2010 is a real watershed moment for video games because
when it was really the highlight of it.
everyone was buying a Wii.
I feel like the Switch is more like the everyday person console.
I agree with you.
It's not like, Xbox and PlayStation, those are great, but they tend to push them, I think, a bit more to a committed gamer.
Well, that and like the Switch, as you said, like it's a little less committal. It looks like a tablet, which you're already familiar with. You don't have to have a TV.
You can take it around, sit on the couch, go move around.
You got to think, too, like for me, I'm like, why would I play on this little screen when I have this huge TV? But let's say that you have like an 8-year-old or you are 8. Now you don't have to fight for the TV.
Or we act like we're 8.
You can, but I mean, seriously, like, or in our, like, let's say you just live with a bunch of roommates and, they're always watching whatever. You've got your Switch. A Switch is a fun second screen because the other thing I've noticed is sometimes I like to play my Switch while other people are watching TV.
Yeah.
So I'll be playing the Switch, they're watching TV, but we're still talking and kind of hanging out, but we're all like doing our own thing.
I'm not surprised to hear those numbers.
Yeah. So the Switch continues to do very well. I don't think I've played my Switch since Mario Galaxy or Mario Odyssey.
It is a shame. You played for Stardew. Well, no, you bought Stardew Valley on something else, didn't you?
I've got Stardew Valley on the PC.
Yes. Okay. I like playing my Switch whenever I do. I just never remember to actually go and do it.
Yeah. So, and it's one of those things, like it's still too big for me to really carry around. And man, if I had a commute, meaning someone else was driving, that'd be great. But I'm driving myself. So, I mean, I've tried playing while I drive. It's just not good.
You'd be surprised about the frowns you get from other people.
Yeah, people honking their horns and stuff. You finally are just like,
As they're watching a movie.
It's not worth it, okay?
The Riot.
They hate me. They hate you. They hate us.
Why else would they make us listen to the worst of The Riot? Radio U.
Nikki, have you thought to yourself, or I guess not so much thought to yourself, but have you begun making a savings plan so that you can go to Disney in 2030?
What happens in 2030?
Oh, that's when you'll finally have saved enough money to go for a day.
Well, we've talked about Disney keeps increasing their prices, and you know how we had trouble with Netflix when they did that? Mm-hmm. Disney's already way more expensive.
Way past it, right?
Way expensive.
That's what Netflix needs to do. They should get out in front of that messaging, just like, hey, you can have You could do one of two things. You can have Netflix for a year, or you can go to Disney for a day on a non-peak day.
Non-peak day.
What do you think?
Or when Disney comes out with their Netflix streaming service. Be like, listen, I can't go to your park and pay for that. I just can't do it.
It's going to have to be one or the other, okay?
No, it's a lot of money, and it always shocks me when I do go, if I go inside, because you can always go to like the Disney shopping center.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just enough. That's all you need.
Heck, man, what is it in Florida? It's Disney Springs?
Yeah.
That place is awesome. And it's good enough.
Good
Whatever.
enough. You're close enough.
Good
It's
enough.
fine. That's all we're looking for.
We went to Disney Springs.
And if not, then you just know every couple of years, if you're really a Disney fan, then you can go into the park if you're good.
I think it would be really cool to visit some of the Disney parks in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see what it's like. Like, what is that like? And Shanghai Disney just announced they're doing a Zootopia section to their park. So you'll go in.
That's the one that had the Tron ride.
I know.
I think that's what you would like the most. I don't know if it's still there, but
That's the part that hurts me a little. I would like the Tron stuff. And I don't know. Zootopia was okay. I don't know that I want to visit Zootopia Land. But if I'm there, I'm going to go through.
what type of ride will it be, or will it be?
They say it's going to be a section. So it'll be like Tomorrowland or...
Is that all we remember?
Yeah.
You know, the one lands.
The other lands.
Yay!
Frontierland.
Frontierland, there's one.
That's a thing?
Are those still the names?
I don't know. I went to Disney. It's been 3 years since I went, and I've almost finished paying for the food. So I'm excited.
Well, if you go to the Shanghai one, then you could go to Zootopia Land.
Zootopia feels like that thing that people liked for a day and just whoosh,
It did really
just
well,
gone.
but
It did.
maybe in that area it's still
A thing?
like it did way better, or it connected, or it's just cheaper for them to put Zootopia Land there than in one of the parks here.
Because, I mean, I still hear people talk about Disney things, obviously, but I couldn't tell you the last time outside of this article I have in the wild, just being around, heard somebody be like, yeah, we were watching Zootopia last night. It's the best. Know what I'm saying?
Whereas like here, they'll put, like, I don't know, Star Wars or something.
Something else. But you know what?
A Toy Story thing.
It's fine. I'm just telling you that Nikki and I, 2030, Shanghai Disney,
We'll be going.
amazing.
I still think the travel will cost less than the actual park entrance,
Oh,
like
you
to
know-
the fee.
You know that's real.
But we'll just keep saving our pennies, and one day we'll go. Actually, I'd rather go to Disney and Tokyo. I'd rather go to Japan.
Wow. Yeah.
But Shanghai would be a lovely second.
The Riot is an award-winning morning show.
Literally a medal for sucking. Now that is a medal for trying.
Okay.
Radio U.
I'd like to invite you to step into Dr. Nikki and Dr. Obadiah's
Aw, welcome to the office.
room so we just want to sit down and we want to talk about where you're at, where people are at, because
Where do you feel you're at?
this is but remember, this is not about you really. This is about a friend. This is about a friend. It's about somebody that you know, and you're just there to talk about their problems.
To help them out.
You are. So it goes like this. There's a couple, and it's a guy and a girl. They started dating when they were 14, and they're still dating, which, by the way, like 14 and they're 20, 6 years of dating. I realize you started when you're 14, but isn't it time to like do something?
Well, I don't know. That's early dating. A lot
I
of
know.
those years
Like it's
don't
almost
count.
like it doesn't count.
Yeah, but it is quite some time.
Like they've been together for a long time. Okay, so they've been together for 6 years. In the course of this guy and this girl, his mom and her dad met each other.
Uh-oh.
They fell in love.
Oh, really?
And they got married.
Yeah.
So the parents did.
Okay.
Now, in the middle of all of this, they have continued their relationship. But now that the parents are married, they continue to insist that they should break up because now they're brother and sister. So the mom, like to the son, keeps saying, your sister. And he keeps telling his mom, don't call her that.
Sure.
She's not my sister. And they keep making both subtle and overt gestures saying like, hey, the two of you need to break up. You're brother and sister now. Knock it off, whatever.
Hey, they were the ones dating first.
So, well, you know what, Nikki?
sorry, as a doctor, I should not be playing sides. I'm sorry.
You shouldn't be playing sides, but that's the question that I want to ask is I want to know, if you're dating your sister. No. If you're dating somebody that becomes your sister, do you have to break up? Or are the parents in the wrong? What?
I don't know. I think there's lots of factors in that.
A lot of factors.
I don't know, my thoughts on those. It'd be weird, but I mean, they were the ones dating first, and they're not really brother and sister.
It does seem notoriously unfair to just be like, look, Mom, because you're old, you got married faster, whatever.
It's like, way to go.
Like you're ruining my whole life.
I know. They knew they were dating, so. And,
okay.
And I've seen a couple of movies where this seems like the plot line with it, and people are just fine with it.
The thing that I find myself thinking as I'm reading this is do you know how much easier your Christmases and stuff are going to be? Because with most people, it's you got to go visit her family, and her dad's divorced, so that's we got to make 4 trips to different houses, and then blah blah blah. No. You just have to go, when you go home for Christmas, you're both going home for Christmas. I mean, it's a little weird.
But it's fine.
It's a little weird, but it's all right.
It just lessens that way to think how great that is.
I mean, it's getting weird.
Still odd. It's only odd if you make it, isn't it? Because they're not really brother and sister.
Okay. Mike says we turn our wisdom to the Cullens in Twilight. If it's okay for vampires, it's okay for us.
Weren't they brothers and sisters?
Well, yeah, but they were pretending.
But
none of them were actually.
Hey, to the world outside,
Who knows?
They were just this odd, just very weird. This is why we're not meant to give relationship advice.
You don't think so?
I don't think
you don't feel qualified.
I don't. Video games and movies, oh yeah, but not this.
All right, Tiffany says I think it's fine if they grew up as brother and sister. It would be different.
Well, yes, it would be.
Yeah, it'd be really different.
Be wrong then.
Illegal, really. Jake says the parents crossed the line a long time ago. Just saying.
Maybe the heart of this is the fact that the parents are being kind of petty about it.
Yeah.
When it's disappointing when the older people in the scenario are the ones acting that way.
Yeah, but if they want to live in their house, they have to live by their rules. Well, the other thing though, okay. You break up. Now you got to see your ex all the time.
That's what they want them to do. They're still brother, not.
So now now they hate each other, and you're like, why do you always hate your brother so much? Just don't ask.
No, don't want to.
You don't want to know.
No one wants to know that one.
Wait, you used to date your brother?
And then if you're dating,
he's not my brother.
If you're dating someone else and you bring him home to meet your family and to meet your brother, and that's the person you were dating, it's just all weird.
Yeah, it is, but it's the parents' fault. It's not their fault.
I will agree with that.
All right. You know what, Nikki? We're going to have to wade into the gray.
How much are we charging for what we just did? Because if we're real doctors.
Let's see. I charge by the quarter hour, so it was $150.
$150?
And that's my discounted rate.
You pay for the whole hour no matter what you use. You're still getting the whole hour.
I'll bill for the whole hour.
And now what's your insurance? I want to make sure I have your updated card for the new year.
Yeah.
That feeling when you hear that every school in the state is closed, but yours? Now you know how we feel. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Our question to you was, you've got a couple. They've been dating since they were 14. They're 20 now. So they were like that couple in high school that you hated. And you're like, they'll never make it, and they're still together.
They were still together.
And then his mom married her dad, and it got weird. It wouldn't have to get weird, but the parents are making it weird because they keep referring to each other as brother and sister, insisting they break up. And they're like, no, we were here first.
Yeah.
And so we asked what you guys thought. And so some of what we heard here, Aaron says, I think it's all right. They had a life before their parents met. Such a weird situation. Do they live with their parents? Don't know. Got no answer to that one.
Not the story.
But that's a good question. Justin says, this story happened in West Virginia, didn't it? And Justin's from Oklahoma City. Okay. That's a great example of regional humor.
Come on, Justin. We're better than this.
Well, because, maybe I've told you this, maybe I haven't, but I visited some friends in Idaho.
Yeah.
And they made it so funny. We're standing around, blah, 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 like, yeah, what are you guys from Montana? And I was like, oh, yeah, Montana. Isn't it supposed to be beautiful there?
But that's their West Virginia.
That was their, man, bunch of stupid people from Montana. And I'm like, I don't get it.
But you had to be there.
Do you guys, is there something wrong with Montana? So I imagine for a lot of people, you make a West Virginia joke, and they're like, West
Not
Virginia,
everybody might not get that.
the Rolling Hills? What is it? What's wrong with it? Anybody? Anyone? Yeah.
Well, it's no Montana.
God, it's no Montana. It's not. Jake says parents crossed the line. So wrong. I will tell you, I have some friends from college that this is not them. It's not their story, but this happened to them. Their parents married each other.
Yeah.
And then
After they'd been dating, though?
No. It was all happening at the same time. And they were like, is this wrong? Is this whatever? And what was funny is we were all just like, who freaking cares? They got married. They're still together.
That's nice.
So
it's refreshing.
Again, I still say that's got to make Christmas like so easy. You're just like, you go home and like you're home. I mean, it's weird, but you'll get over it.
Everything's weird anyways at holidays, so it's fine. You're adding one other layer to it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And, like your families are weirdly compatible. I guess it's just...
There's a reason everybody liked each other.
Yeah, family time. It's great.
So it must be wonderful.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Like, you know what? I'm ready to stop now.
Oh, is that it? Is that all of our relationship advice humor?
Yeah.
Okay, we're done.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I don't have anything else to add to it.
Okay, me either. I'll just go ahead and just stop there.
Did you know the Riot can help you see into the future? Every time Obadiah says he likes a show, impress all your friends by correctly predicting it will be canceled by the end of the year.
Canceled. What are you talking about? It's not funny.
Works every time. It's the Riot on RadioU.
There are a lot of things I'm not good at, Nikki. Oh, ankle stretching is not one of them. Great at that.
That's a highlight of his.
I'll tell you something else that I'm really good at, like very good at, is being defensive and making excuses. Like, I'm super good at that. And I've gotten to a place where I've started to realize that anytime somebody asks me a question at all, I'm immediately on the defense.
You're ready to go?
In fact, what I'm really ready to do is just turn it around back on them. So they're like, hey, did you get the report done? Well, I would if you'd get your act together. You know what? Like, hey, did you see the movie last night? I would if you'd remind me that it happened.
You're just automatically always ready to go with that.
I'm ready to spin it back,
Sure.
and I'm ready to be on the defense because, man, I can't have you coming at me, okay? Come at me, bro. I'm going to come at you,
Yes.
bro. So, like, you'll forget all about coming at me because I'm going to come back at you because that's the way I do
Are
things.
you not wanting to be that way as much anymore, or are you just more aware now?
Well, here's what I have figured out. Here on the show, we talk a lot about having a relationship with God. So I caught myself yesterday. I sat down. I was like, I'm going to take some time and I'm going to have some time. I'm going to talk to God. And I sat down and I realized about a couple minutes in, I'm like, bro, like you're just making a bunch of excuses for not even bad behavior, just behavior. I'm like, all right, God, I did this, but it's tough this time of year, and it's like weird.
It sounds like good excuses.
I did, and I sat there with God for a second. I was like, all right, you know what? Just take a deep breath. No excuses, God. You know what? I could just really use your help. Mistakes have been made. Poor choices made, or like it doesn't always have to be that. It's not like you always go to God and you're like, let me tell you what a bad person I am. See, God's not even really that interested in that. What he's really looking for is, what about just some quiet moments of honesty between you and God? Because here's what I find: if I go to God and I stop making excuses and I just take some quiet time, the thing that I'm finding out is that God really does love me. Like he really does. He really is glad for us to spend some time together. He really is trying to help me make some better choices. He's really, and you know what, even that, like I'm talking, I always go back to that. Like I always go back to behavior, but I just want you to know that God loves you. And you don't have to spend time making excuses with God today. You could just sit there with him for a little while. And it's funny how what I've noticed is that when I stop making excuses and I just sit there with God for a while, and maybe we talk about stuff, maybe we don't. Maybe God and I just sit there quietly together. Something is different when I stand up, because I usually sit down for that. So whatever. But, I sit down for 5 minutes and take that time. But when I stand up, something is different. I'm more grounded. I'm more present. I have a tendency to make better choices. And I think do things that God would really like me to do. And I chuck my excuses. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this: instead of spending the day trying to justify yourself to yourself, to people around you, or even to God, just take 5 minutes and be there. listen to what God has to say. And, if you don't have a relationship with God, and this sounds like nonsense, you know what you do? Let's just start right there. Just say, all right, God, I'm ready to give this a shot. I want you to come into my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want to have a relationship with you. What's this whole you love me thing about? Great place to start.
The worst of the riot. It's like Lucky Charms, but no marshmallows. RadioU.
It was, about half an hour ago or so, we were talking about this construction worker in the UK who decided to visit a travel lodge.
Well, there's more now to the story.
He did.
He wasn't technically visiting. He'd been there the whole time.
He doesn't live there.
But thank you, Katie, for texting this in. They didn't say originally in the article why he drove. What would you call the thing?
They call it a digger. To me, I would call it a backhoe, but I don't know if that's what it actually is. Nikki, I've never worked construction.
So I don't know if there's an appropriate term for it. But, the machine thingy to move the stuff with the little
steam shovel?
The
How about a steam shovel?
The scooper thing. Mm-hmm. And he drove it into a travel lodge in the UK and
trashed the lobby.
Trashed the travel lodge. And people are like, well, what had happened? And now there's more details saying he was actually one of the workers who was supposed to be paid for the work that they had done on the travel lodge because they had said they had just finished the lobby. So he was owed all these back wages along with other people. Apparently, like a boss of some sorts had taken off with some money, or there was just something going on to where he had tried to get money for some other people who'd been working. And then with him, apparently the last straw was taking this digger and driving it in through the building that he helped build.
So there's a GoFundMe set up to raise money for him so that his name
was Jack Welton.
The back wages that he is to get the back wages he is owed, but then also to pay for his potential legal defense.
Yeah,
they were trying to raise £600, and that
was what he was owed.
Right. They have since raised £5,670.
So, that's very nice. He said he's overwhelmed by the support because he will have legal fees. Even though he was wanting to get his money back, you're not supposed to drive through the building.
Yeah, that's
his bad. And that now you learn. And now you can ask for forgiveness.
Right. I'm sorry. I just thought.
Was I not supposed to do that?
Did you guys? Because I was trying to file a grievance and I just happened to drive in. So, my bad. I didn't mean anything.
So they want to make sure that they can cover any expenses that may come up because of the legal stuff.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. The answer to any of your work problems today is to use a power tool to destroy things and then post a GoFundMe.
No, then someone else has to send in the GoFundMe. What if it doesn't take off?
What do you mean? Oh, your GoFundMe?
Yeah, you're banking on that and you're wrong.
That definitely happens. Like, we've seen people that are like, oh, they did it, we can do it. And then they can't.
Thank you, Franklin. The technical term of that machine is a mini track hoe. So we'll go with that. Well, they just say digger. So we could also use that too.
Mini track hoe sounds like an insult.
Well, only if you're wanting it to be. Anything can be an insult. Anything can be.
Yeah?
In tone.
Whatever, digger.
See, I don't like that.
I know. It really is all about delivery, isn't it?
It is.
You're right.
So I kind of feel bad for the guy for how the workers, they say, were treated there. But that wasn't necessarily the travel lodge. That was more, whatever construction company they used.
Yeah, like the travel lodge hired a company to do the work. The company didn't pay the workers.
Yeah.
So, I don't think that's necessarily bad marks on Travelodge, though I'm sure the construction company will try to make it look like it is.
And I'm sure Travelodge is like, oh, can we guys just stop talking about us, please?
But, in the meantime, even though the lobby's a mess, we still have that free breakfast in the room next to the lobby.
Come on in.
The Riot.
Apparently some of the less athletic types go nuts for this stuff.
RadioU.
I'm a child in search of a parent. I'm looking for a mom or dad to come into my life that can add me to their Amazon Prime account so that I can have all the benefits of being a family member without the expenses incurred in such a difficult and
I don't think it's set up quite the same way because I used to have my mom.
Well, we got to figure it out.
I used to have my mom on like my family one, and it got changed. Like Amazon changed some of that up.
I know. Like we used to have RadioU used to be a family.
We did. Obi used to be my brother as far as like Amazon was concerned.
We lived in different homes, but we're family.
Brothers and sisters do. It's fine.
It's not a big deal. And so we would split the cost, and Nikki would pay the tax, and.
It's unfair. It's fine.
And so,
but then they changed it up even back then. So they've gone through different variations of like, how can you have a family when really they just want everybody to pay?
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out my Amazon Prime account. I think like it's almost up. And Amazon is freaking out because the credit card that I have on file to pay for it.
Is it an old one?
It is. And they're just like, hey.
We can't just, charge you automatically and not tell you ahead of time if your credit card's not up to date.
Oh, my gosh. Tomorrow is the day my Amazon Prime is up.
What are you going to do? We talked last year. Do you remember what we talked about?
I know.
What did we say? We said last year.
Do we really need it?
Do we really need it? Because Amazon has not done the best. They're better than they used to be now that they got their little Prime trucks everywhere. But back last year.
Minimizing, Nikki.
No, they're little. They're smaller than the UPS trucks.
Okay. You're right. It's true.
It used to be you would have 2-day shipping, but the lie was, well, when does it actually ship out? Mm-hmm. And then it would take 4 or 5 days to ship out. But yes, it'd be 2-day shipping at that point because it would take 2 days to then get to you. And so we were really annoyed last year.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Because
we said there was nothing on Prime we like to watch.
This is the one thing they're killing me with. The 3rd season of The Expanse is coming to Amazon Prime next month, but I don't care that much.
Do you?
I love those books, but I thought the TV show was good. I just wasn't super into it. So
you ready to cut Prime?
Maybe. But
I know you're not going to. You're not going to. It's too just.
They want me to either pay $12 a month or $120 for the year.
Can you still find a savings thing? Those are around every so often where you get some money off.
How do you do that?
Maybe they don't offer them as much anymore, but look on Slick Deals.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll do stuff then. It'll be $80.
That's always for stuff where they're like, as long as you're not a pre-existing member, of course.
That is probably true.
All right. Well, I just wanted to know if you got a cheap way for me to get in.
Well, I can't add you to my family.
Well, you don't have to be
anymore.
You don't have to be my mom. Maybe somebody else wants to.
Someone else has an empty spot.
I'm just saying.
Well, we'll look around and see what we can do.
I think Amazon Prime Video is not very good. I think the content they offer, they're like, look how good it is. And you're like, man, this is very good.
But I don't feel like I'm paying for it, even though I'm paying for the shipping thing.
Right.
So it just seems like it's just something that's there.
It's part of the scam, Nikki.
But we've had it just as long as we've had almost Netflix, and I'm just not ready. I'm not good with change. Not like that. I can't break up with someone. That's the longest relationship I've had.
You know, Nikki, that's part of the problem right there. Is sometimes you just got to say, you know what? This relationship, I got to get out of it, even though part of me doesn't want to get out of it.
We just got to move on to something else.
Yeah, man. I got to work up to it. Tomorrow's the day.
Figure it out today.
Ever grab milk right out of the fridge to pour in your cereal, only to realize that your stupid roommate left an empty carton in the fridge? That emptiness is nothing compared to how you're about to feel. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Yesterday, the Oscar nominations did come out.
They did.
And in the list for Best Picture was, for the first time ever, a Netflix film, Nikki.
Yeah.
Roma was in that list. You can watch it on Netflix right now if you want to. You can have Oscar night in your basement, on your phone, whatever you want, you can watch it, right? So there's that. But then we got a little...
In walks a movie theater. Who has a problem with that?
Normally, AMC and Regal Cinemas are known for starting up their Best Picture showcases. Each of them will have different names for it or whatever, but they'll take a week, maybe 2 weeks, in which they'll bring back all of the Best Picture nominees and put them in theaters for a couple of weeks so that if you want to, you can go and see all of them before
leading
the
up
Oscars
to the
happen.
Oscars. Yeah, that's very common.
I mean, we know that Josh and Hudson, they like to do that. They'll go and on some level, they try to make sure they see all of those movies before they actually release or before the Oscars happen. So it's kind of a big deal. But in the middle of all of this, both AMC and Regal have said, yeah, we're not showing the Netflix movie.
So they're not going to show Roma in theaters? Was it ever in theaters? Because sometimes I know it can go for a couple of days in order to still be out. It
was in theaters. It had a very limited release. So it went to the IFC Center in New York, Landmark 57, Pico Boulevard in Hollywood. And then apparently they moved it out into different markets, but it didn't get a wide release It didn't play in AMC theaters. It didn't play in Cinemark theaters or Regal theaters. And so now AMC is just like, their response is actually, we didn't play it before.
Why would we play it now?
Why we be playing it now?
Well, I don't know if they're saying it that way.
So maybe, you know what? You're right, Nikki.
You
They've
added a
issued
little embellishment.
Here, let me read you their official statement. For more than a decade, movie lovers have enjoyed the AMC Best Picture Showcase to catch up on the nominated films that played at AMC throughout the prior year.
Oh, see that? Did you hear that right there? That played at AMC.
This year, Academy members nominated a film that was never licensed to AMC to play in our theaters. As such, it is not included in the AMC Best Picture Showcase.
Well, then that's
they don't
fine
even name
the movie. But what if it's a case of they don't have the license for it and they don't want to pay just for this thing to have the licensing for it?
You know what? That's fine, because why would I pay to go see it when I'm already paying for Netflix?
Some people don't mind going to have the experience of seeing a movie that's been nominated for such a big award. They'd go and pay to see it in theaters.
Nikki, look across the desk.
Uh-huh.
You're looking at one of those people.
I know, but they wouldn't mind even if you could find it on. That's why. But why do people sometimes still buy movies when they're streaming lots of different places?
Nikki,
yeah, you also
you're
do
looking
that
at
too.
one of those
Never
people.
mind. When you could just buy it if it leaves it.
No, you buy it when it's here, Nikki. I mean, just as a side note, what you do is you monitor movie prices every single day, and then when it gets low, you buy.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
It makes sense if AMC doesn't want to pay into the licensing for just that one time or just for that one set of days.
So now the question is, do you root for Roma because you're a Netflix subscriber and you want to see him stick it to all those theater people, or do you root for Black Panther because Marvel and you're a Marvel person and you got to root for the Marvel movies?
I feel like I don't know if Black Panther will win. It's a big step forward.
It's not going to win.
But I feel like they were doing that because people have been complaining for so long that they would never put a movie like that in there.
Which one are you picking?
What was the top movies?
Okay, you got Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, A Star Is Born, Vice.
I'd probably pick Green Book. People say
I actually
it's super
don't know
good.
what that is. That's of all. The movies on the list, that's actually the one that I don't know what it is.
I think, is it Viggo Mortensen, the one guy? However you say.
Yeah. And Don Cheadle? No.
I think you've seen the trailer.
Mahershala Ali.
It looks really good. People said it's super amazing.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard good things about it, but no, I haven't seen it.
I'd go for that, but the list, it's not a lot of the movies that I've seen throughout the past year.
No. Well, I've seen a few of those movies, but I don't know. I guess I'm rooting for Black Panther. Marvel, right? I mean, Marvel over Netflix comes first in the alphabet.
I know. You hate the Riot. Why are they on the radio?
Stupid. Yeah.
Honestly, we can't trust them with anything else. It's the Riot on RadioU.
You know, sometimes, though, you guys text hurtful things. And Aaron just sent me an article. He says, Obi, I think you have CBD with movies.
So is that compulsive?
Compulsive buying disorder. Says, how do you know if you have a shopping addiction?
You have your bell ready in case there's something that you feel resonates with you concerning CBD.
All right, Nikki, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, there are 5 signs that you have CBD. Now, keep in mind that compulsive buying disorder is not, it's not listed as an addiction, but it does appear to share certain characteristics common in addictive disorders. Now, this according to Psychology Today, the article that Aaron sent us, okay? Sign number 1. Impulse purchases. Compulsive buyers often purchase things on impulse that they can't do without.
Only during weekdays if you do compulsively buy something.
When have you ever known me to compulsively buy a movie, though? Isn't it always that I've had my eye on it for a long time and that I've thought it through and I'm waiting on the price?
I'll give you this one. He is a watcher. He'll watch it until the price is low enough.
Until it gets to just the right place.
Except for random things every so often where you're like, oh, yeah, I'll buy this.
I can't think of the last...
What was your Star Wars thingy from Christmas that you didn't end up getting?
What was
the thing?
No
the
joke,
toy.
like I don't remember. The TIE Fighter.
TIE Fighter, yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't a movie.
No,
and
but
we're talking
I'm just
about
saying
movies here. Yeah, so I mean, like that's
different.
Totally
topic.
different.
All right, next one.
All right, number 2. Like maybe that one's an in between. We're riding the line. Nikki and I, we have been unable to
pinpoint an exact yes or no on that.
Okay. Buyer's high. Compulsive shoppers experience a rush of excitement when they buy.
Yeah.
There's something to that.
Yeah, especially when it's movies.
Okay.
And you've been waiting for the price to be perfect.
Yeah, and I do get excited when the
look
price
at you right
finally
now.
drops, and I'm like, yes!
You're very excited.
Well, I love it because, one, like, I managed to hold out. I'm like, yeah, showed you guys. You don't get all my money, just some of it.
And you got the movie, too, so it's like a double high.
Number 3, shopping to dampen unpleasant emotions.
I don't think so. They say like the loneliness, lack of control, lack of self-esteem. I don't think so. I think it's more the buyer's high.
Yeah, I'm looking for the high, but I'm not trying to avoid the lows.
No, I don't think so.
Number 4, guilt. So wait, that means we're at an and then one yes and one no.
One no, okay.
So like right now we're just riding the line.
Right.
All right, we got 2 left. Number 4, guilt and remorse. Purchases are followed by feelings of remorse.
I would say yes. You do get remorse.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Not always about the movies, because you really were looking at which ones you wanted to buy for a while, but on other things, maybe.
Okay. And then number 5, the pain of paying. Paying with cash is more painful than paying with credit cards. The main psychological force of credit cards is that they separate the pleasure of buying from the pain of paying. So they say that this is where your CBD, what is it again? Compulsive Buying Disorder, is more likely in countries where credit cards are a thing.
Gotcha.
So, like, if you had cash, you'd be way less likely to buy it. I would say, yeah.
Right in line.
Probably, right. I think I'm right on the line here. Because, but here's the hard thing is, like, it's something that I like to do. So, but what separates liking to do something from compulsively doing something? Wouldn't compulsively be that you cannot control yourself? And don't I exhibit self-control every single day when I look at the iTunes sales list and I don't buy anything? You
do, but I think because it's always a struggle and it's always around. But then these people with this study, they're not spending 3 to 6 to 8 to 10 hours a day in front of, the internet having a chance to look at stuff.
It's hard, guys.
Yeah, but it's for our work.
Yeah.
I think you're okay, but I think that high one, that's your thing right there.
I get excited. But the funny thing is, though, is like I get excited about the movie, but I get excited about the deal. The deal.
Yes, you do.
But it's fine. I know.
It's not a problem. It's not like this. This is too much.
I'm fine. I'm fine, guys. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. He's fine. It's no big deal. He's fine.
The Worst of the Riot box set is now available nowhere because we know you wouldn't want it anyway. It's the Worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Today's Wednesday, so it's the second day we've worked, which means I did the whining yesterday. I'm going to whine a little bit again today.
Well, we were off on Monday.
Yeah, and it's sad when it comes right off that compulsive buying discussion because...
Might not highlight the best.
It might not, but here's something I was thinking. Over the next couple of weeks, you got some video game releases that are happening. You've got, let's see, this weekend, you've got Resident Evil 2. Next weekend, you've got Kingdom Hearts. And then I think 2 weeks after that, you have Anthem, which looks like a cross between Destiny and Iron Man. And so those are things that people are thinking about spending their money on. But here's where I saw this weekend, if you have pre-ordered Anthem, you get a 3-day beta for quote unquote, air quotes, everybody.
Up in the air.
Free.
So you can try it.
Uh-huh.
And just enough time to cancel your order.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just making sure everybody knows we can do that.
I mean, that's probably what I'm going to do is go pre-order it from Amazon, get my code to get into the beta, and then probably cancel my pre-order.
I wonder what the ratio is of people who actually do that, because it's going to be a catch. Like it's not your fault. It's going to be the game's fault. It's either so great that you like it and you want more, or it works the way the game company probably doesn't want it to. You realize you don't like it and you cancel it.
It's a hard call, and the other thing that's hard about it is there's a lot of things at play here. There's first off my memory of I was so excited about Destiny when it launched like 4 years ago, and I played their beta, which was like their start thing, and I was like, man, this is so awesome. Like, it's so great. It's so whatever. And then you realize that you had seen like 25% of the game and there was next to nothing there. And then you're like, wait, the demo was kind of a lie. So you run that risk.
Yeah, you wonder.
So there's that. And then the other part of it is that I forgot.
Okay. Well, let's see if you're going to are you going to play this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. I hope it's good. It looks cool. I like Destiny. If it's Destiny-like, but also these are the people that made the Mass Effect games. So, I mean, it could be cool. And, think about it this way. And this is how I'm thinking about it. There's a lot of pre-release hype directed at me personally for the new Resident Evil game. So this way, I get something new to play this weekend without buying anything.
So maybe you can hold on the Resident Evil.
Nikki, cooler heads will prevail, and I can decide whether or not I actually want it rather than, I got to get it.
Yeah, it'll help.
So Paul says, don't give EA money. Paul, look, everybody's mad at some company about the way they treated some product.
He doesn't. Battlefield, the price by half within a week of launch. They'll probably do the same with Anthem. And yeah, that's true. They did do that.
That's not a bad. It's not a bad call. I think they think they've got a huge win with Anthem. That Battlefield didn't do that well.
But Eric ended up liking the Battlefield one. But he did get it at the lower price.
I've heard good things about Battlefield 5.
Not the worst.
So I don't know. We'll see. My plan is they have a service called let me see what it's called. Origin. I think it's called Origin Access or EA Access Premier or something like that. You pay $15 a month and basically you get full access to every game that EA makes no matter what. So my game plan for Anthem is I'm going to pay $15, get the full access to it. And if I don't like it within a month, that's the end of Anthem. So play it, see if I love it, great, maybe I'll go buy it. But if I don't, I'm out $15. That's a nice long rental, but that works for me.
You can handle that.
Sure.
This was the worst of the riots, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The Riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
Everybody shoots up heroin. Everybody does it. We're all on meth and cocaine. Everybody does it.